We have to deliver great service. We have to run a pristine control environment so we do it right the first time. Efficiency will be the output of those two actions.
That was Frank Bisignano, the new Social Security Commissioner, getting grilled in Congress. This is just a few hours earlier, as there is some good news from this. Looks like the new chief is going to run the agency in the right fashion. Also, we have this too. When asked about privatizing Social Security, he says he will not privatize Social Security, run it in the right way. So I'm going to play you that full video clip right now, just so you get an idea of who this new Social Security Commissioner is, what his background is, and answering a few basic questions. So I'll just play you that full video clip right now.
Chairman Crapo, Ranking Member Wyden, members of the committee, I am Frank Bisignano. I am honored to appear before you as President's nominee to serve as Commissioner of the Social Security Administration. President Trump was elected by the American people to make life better for Americans, and he has made protecting and preserving Social Security an important part of his vision. Social Security touches the lives of nearly every American, whether you're paying into it or receiving benefits. I am grateful for the faith President Trump has placed in me to lead this critical agency. I also want to thank my wife, Tracy, who is here with me today, and my three children, Morgan, Alexa, and Henry, whose support I rely on every day. I was born into a working-class family in Brooklyn, New York. It was a multi-generational immigrant household. My maternal grandfather naturally immigrated and was a World War I veteran. My father, who was an orphan by age 11, was a veteran of World War II. They, with my working mother, were my role models and instilled in me the virtues of service. It was also at home I learned the importance of hard work. My father, a 46-year Department of Treasury employee, worked in customs enforcement, boarding ships early in the morning and sometimes wouldn't come home for days. He took pride in his job, and he was awarded the Albert Gallatin Award. He was the hardest working person I've known. I view federal workers from that vantage point. I began my professional life on Wall Street in the late 1970s and went on to serve in multiple leadership positions at Citigroup and JP Morgan. In these roles and others, I led large organizations through challenging times. On 9/11, I never left Lower Manhattan. As Chief Administrative Officer of Citigroup, I helped ensure the world's largest banking system remained up and running in the face of the unthinkable tragedy. I had responsibility for 16,000 people in Lower Manhattan, and we managed to evacuate all but 6. I will mourn that loss for my whole life. In 2008, at JP Morgan, I played a critical role in keeping money moving through the financial crisis. And in 2011 and 12, I worked closely with the government to restart the housing market after the mortgage crisis. More recently, I was the CEO and chairman of First Data, where my team and I worked to transform the company from the world's largest traditional payment processor into a technology innovator, industry collaborator, and commerce enabler for the 21st century. In 2019, I led the merger of First Data and Fiserv, where I'm currently CEO and chairman of the board. Fiserv fundamentally serves every American household. Our company today processes more than 250 million payments, totaling more than $2.5 trillion a day. Social Security processes 74 million payments a month, totaling $1.5 trillion a year. In 2020, during COVID, I was called on by the government again and stepped up, and we served the underbanked. My friend, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, once said, The only just government is government that serves its citizens, not itself. This is the belief I will bring to the Social Security Administration. I will make the agency a premier services organization, as I have done multiple times with other institutions throughout my career. Fundamentally, Social Security is a payments-based, customer-facing program that delivers benefits to more than 70 million Americans each month. It provides essential financial support for the retired and disabled. We will meet beneficiaries where they want to be met, whether in person, in field offices, on the web, or on the phone. On the phone, I'm committed to reducing wait times and providing beneficiaries with a better experience. Waiting 20 minutes plus to get an answer will be of yesteryear. I also believe we can significantly improve the length of the disability claim process. Importantly, I think a 1% error rate based on the Inspector General report is 5 decimal places too high. We'll get the error rate down and be more accurate in payments. Working in collaboration with the men and women of Social Security Administration and you in Congress, we will better serve the American people. Finally, at the core, this is a bipartisan job. Social Security has field offices and serves Americans in every state. In the wisdom of Congress, you made Social Security an independent agency and gave the commissioner a 6-year term. In me, you will have an accountable leader. I am thankful to President Trump for considering me for this role and entrusting me with it. I also appreciate the courtesy you have extended by holding this hearing. I'm grateful for being here with you today, and I'm happy to answer all questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bisignano. My first question is one you've pretty much already answered. I'd just like to maybe give you an opportunity to add any more completeness to what you described about how important it is to be sure that every American is served promptly and efficiently by the Social Security Administration. As you know, and as we've talked about, for years, individuals seeking assistance from SSA have faced long wait times or even inability to gain access. And the agency is now going under significant organizational changes. Could you just put a little more flavor into what you described as what your objectives are and how you will achieve them to make this agency responsible to the American people?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for the time. This is a mission-critical function. It's a mission-critical function, and it's been 89 years where over 200 million Americans have been beneficiaries of payments. Today, over 100 million Americans pay into the system. And the ability to receive payments on time and accurately is job one. The ability to process any type of claim we receive is job one. And the ability to be available. I think we're gonna focus on what we need to do to drive the 1% error rate down. That's a very high payment processing error rate. And I think the standard's more 5 decimal points to the right. I think that leads to better accuracy. I believe in running an organization with a multidisciplinary look. We have to deliver great service. We have to run a pristine control environment so we do it right the first time. Efficiency will be the output of those two actions. We must put the beneficiaries first. I think management, this is, according to all the public data I've looked at, this has been one of the less satisfied workforces for many years within all the government agencies. And I think, you know, when you're winning, you feel good. And when you're losing, you feel bad. And my objective is to come in and motivate the workforce we have, 50,000 plus, to be able to get our job right the first time for the American public. I think, we have talent all over, like any organization, and we have very dedicated people in there. But I think there's been a lot of leadership change. If you look at the history of commissioners, they've turned over quite a bit. I'm committed to a 6-year term and to do a great job for the American public and to be here for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm sure you've noticed the daily news on President Trump's effort with the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. You've heard about it today already, and I bet you'll hear about it some more. The Social Security Administration is one of the agencies that has received a lot of media attention regarding these efforts. For the record, are you currently at the Social Security Administration?
I'm not at the Social Security Administration, sir.
Have you been consulted by the acting commissioner about DOGE's work at the Social Security Administration?
I have not had a conversation about anything with this Social Security Commissioner who's acting right now.
Thank you. And during a February 5 interview on CNBC, you voiced your support for DOGE's work generally. Is there anything further you would like to add with respect to those comments?
I've run a quality control and efficiency program in companies my whole life. I've always been overseen by the OCC and the Fed, and control really matters a lot. So I've always considered myself an efficiency expert, but also a quality expert. If you look at my rankings, when I took over the mortgage company in J.D. Power, we went from the lowest performing to the highest performing. So my comments really mean that I'm happy to work with anybody who can help us, and I believe that I'm fundamentally about efficiency myself.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts? Is Frank Bisignano the guy for the job for Social Security? Is he going to make sure Social Security checks don't get delayed or cut? What are your thoughts on what he had to say there? Well, that is all the news that I have for today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
This is never mind, sorry. This is the tip of the day. I'm going to tell you one thing what you can feel. If you really want something, then be a survivor with some juice. Just kidding. Be a survivor and do whatever you want, because that when someone's here for you, you can always use some help. Anyways. Bye-bye.
There are 2 new rules to Social Security, and if you haven't found out about them yet, I definitely recommend clicking this video over here as I go over those 2 new rules changes to Social Security that could affect your personal Social Security check. So click that video now, and I'll see you in that video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.